All right, today's going to be an interesting interview. I've got King Mukherjee and Hannah Roach from the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University in Minnesota. So, how are you guys doing today?
Feeling good, a little cold.
A little
Yes,
cold, Minnesota cold on a
that's right. That's right.
February day.
Okay, King can you just give a quick introduction of who you are?
Okay, my name is King Mukherjee. I'm the chair of the Global Business Leadership Department, and I hold the Ralph Cross Chair in Business and Liberal Arts in College of St. Benedict and St. John's. And the other hat I wear is entrepreneurial hat, in which I'm the founder and the president of the Global Impex International Textile Company.
Okay, and then Hannah, how about you?
Yeah, my name is Hannah. I am a sophomore at St. Ben's and St. John's. I'm currently studying global business with a minor in communications, and I also have a focus in marketing.
All right. Now, I heard you guys were on a international India trip. Is that correct? So maybe, King, you can give me a little bit of background of what happened and all the details a little bit.
Yeah, surely. So this course we call it as Global Enterprise India. It is the first embedded course which we started. That means the travel is embedded within the course. So in month of end of October till middle of December, we were on campus learning the various aspects in India, its political aspects, economic aspects, cultural aspects. And during the time, our students, which includes Hannah, was working on projects remotely with 12 students from Symbiosis Skills and Professional University. And then we left on January the 3rd to do the travel portion of our trip. We landed in early morning hours on 5th. We spent a couple of days in Mumbai. Then we moved on to the Symbiosis Skills and Professional University in Pune. We spent 5 days there. We visited four amazing factories. Symbiosis, along with College of St. Benedict St. John's, hosted a first inaugural international conference on supply chain and AI, where the students from the two countries presented together at this international conference. It was a huge success. From there, we moved to Goa, which is on the coast. We took a bus. It was a long bus ride for 12 hours. And in Goa, we spent 3 days. Hannah and all our classmates, they had an amazing time. It was more like a retreat. And then we came back to Mumbai. We finished the trip by first going to the National Stock Exchange, which was extraordinary visit. And last day of our trip, we were fortunate to visit the Southeast Asia headquarters of JP Morgan Chase in Mumbai, and then we boarded the flight back home on 18th of January.
Okay,
So
so
that's in a nutshell.
about 2 or 3 weeks total?
Around just over 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, good. Now, Hannah, was this your first time for an international trip, and why did you choose this program?
Yeah, it was my first time for an international trip. It just kind of came about. King came around to one of our classes, and I knew that I really wanted to participate in our study abroad program here. So I thought this 2 week program would be perfect for that, and just studying business, really just opening my eyes to um, business globally. And India was the perfect opportunity for that.
Okay, did you know much about India before you left? What were some of your kind of thoughts in terms of the living condition? What were you encounter? Things like that.
Yeah, I didn't have much background in India. My mom actually did a clinical in India when she was in high school there, so I kind of got her side of it. She was in very rural areas of India, so she kind of described those aspects of it. Um, so that's kind of what I had in mind was that rural poverty side of it, and I didn't see the big city side of it. So I was really excited to see just a different eye-opening experience of India.
All right. Now, can you give us a little bit of an idea of like the infrastructure of when you flew in, the airports? Was it what you expected, or what was like in terms of the transportation?
Yeah, so it was definitely not what I was expecting. The airport was huge. It was super nice. We got off the plane right away, went through customs easily. Then we got right to our bus, essentially super fast within like 10 minutes. And it was a typical bus, except of course they drive on the opposite side of the road. um, quickly learned that the traffic was horrible there. Um, I've never seen traffic like that. I've never experienced it like that. So that was definitely an eye opening for the traffic side of it. I also, coming in at night, we didn't get to see much. So during the day, I kind of took it all in. And it really opened my eyes of how much of poverty and um, wealth live within each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a like, different thing to see because in America we don't really see that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely eye opening.
Okay, very good. Now, how about you, King? What were some of the highlights, and in terms of the projects or who you went to see?
Every time I go, I get almost like a mini culture shock. So this time I saw the pace of growth is increased. We had some great speakers who came to our hotel. That included Confederation of Indian Industries. It included Bollywood, which is big in India, the movie industry, the director, some actor. They gave us amazing perspective. On first day, we went to the Elephanta Caves, which was my first time too. So I could see the contrast what Hannah was talking in Mumbai. It's a huge city, 22 million people. We stayed in a nice hotel. Everything was comfortable. And then we drove to Pune, which was extraordinary. The hospitality which Symbiosis gave to us on our arrival on traditional way, and the trips they arranged, from Firestone factories, national headquarters, to this Dutch company which is owned by Toyota, where they handle bags for 4 billion bags they're handling. To see the technology, the progress was extraordinary, and the conference was definitely one of the highlights. It was great to see how our students work so seamlessly with their students. We went to the market together for shopping. They were extraordinary. So the friendship and the bond which developed between the two groups of students from two different countries, I think that is the biggest takeaway. And we have just received a notification that those students will be visiting, many of them, in October, November in our campus during Diwali time, the biggest festival in India. They will be here in our campuses.
Oh,
So
how
I think
nice.
that is the biggest takeaway for me, the friendship which all of us developed, and the hospitality and the kindness and the genuineness which we experienced every city where every place where we went.
All right. Hannah, how about you in terms of your impressions about the cities? Was it quite diverse? Did you see other foreigners around, or do you feel isolated at all, or was it difficult to like get around or communicate? I know English is spoken there, but there are different regions and different dialects and things like that. So anything cultural from a cultural aspect that was challenging?
Yeah, from the first day, it was kind of overwhelming because just the amount of people everywhere. Um, there frankly wasn't a lot of diversity. We didn't see a lot of tourism until we got to Goa, which I never felt unsafe or anything like that. It was just kind of eye opening to see how many people are there in one place. But everyone was so kind to us and was always welcoming. I never felt secluded or uncomfortable in really any situation we were put in. So that was really nice. In Symbiosis, everyone was so welcoming, like King said, and it was so nice to be with other students and see how they are doing their schoolwork or how their daily lives, um, or like their daily lives in school, which was really cool to see. It's just something different than the States.
All right. Good. Now, King, you mentioned building on relationships. And I think when about over 20 years ago, when I was at St. John St. Ben's, I don't think there was an India study abroad or anything like this. China was kind of moving up in the world, so that was the big attraction. Do you see any, what do you see in terms of the future relationship and programs with St. John St. Ben's? Do you see more exchange programs and kind of cross cultural types of programs?
Yeah, definitely. India is like the new China, and politically, economically, culturally, both these countries are getting closer and closer at various levels. So education is definitely one area where there is going to be a lot of, enhanced cooperation and between St. John's, St. Ben's, and Symbiosis, as well as other institute too. Our international office director Alex also joined us in last 2 days after we left. He visited other cities, especially like your Bangalore and Hyderabad, and we developed some other relationships with other universities. They're very excited to work with us, and like remote working, uh, remote projects like we do for a global supply chain class over a month long, where 60 of our students work with Symbiosis, 60, 70 students. So other universities express deep interest. There is also deep interest in 2+2 programs in which they do 2 years in India, they come over here. So there are a variety of discussions are going on. On the business side, I've been talking to the St. Joe, our town here, with the mayor. We want to take a business delegation by next January, sometime like that, in which various sectors, including the education sector, we can go and explore more in India, especially Mumbai and Pune, and grow this relationship beyond beyond the boundaries of schools and education. Basically, the goal is to create an ecosystem between state of Minnesota and state of Maharashtra, where Mumbai, Pune, and Goa is.
Okay, very well. Now, Hannah, I'm sure you enjoyed the program. You mentioned your highlight was kind of seeing the kids and how they go about in their daily lives. Was there anything that you wish you could have done more of, or that you would suggest for the program? Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I wish we kind of got more of the beach time. I know King knows that we all very much enjoyed that. But besides that, it was super cool. It was such a good business opportunity and networking opportunity. And I really loved that we connected with Symbiosis Skills and we did so many different industry tours, which was such a great networking opportunity for a college kid, um, just to build my networking because right now it's kind of slim, just starting out. So that was really awesome.
And I must compliment them because every day it was like business tours for us, waking up at 8 a.m., coming back 8 or 9, and it's India is always plus 1 hour with joke Indian Standard Time. But they did great, even when we reached like 3 a.m. from Goa to Mumbai. Next day, we had to go to the National Stock Exchange. Everybody was ready and on the go. So it was great that they kept up the tempo, and luckily everybody was okay health wise.
Yeah.
We ate most of the food, certain food we were a little cautious. We stayed in nice places. In fact, in Symbiosis they stayed in their hostel, which was also an experience. But everybody was healthy, and each day was 12, 14 hours day, and they kept up. So in 2 weeks we felt we did like 2 months worth
Mhm.
of experiences.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't take back anything that we did. Um, yeah, we did a lot within 2 weeks, which was super awesome. I mean, when are we gonna do that same type of trip again? So that was really cool.
Good. Now, my studies and focus is usually on Asia, specifically China, decades ago, and then now it's moved to Vietnam. So those are the areas I know and study very, very well. And then in the last few years, they say India is the new China. The India now has the largest population. I think it overtook China not too long ago, and everyone is kind of pointing to India as the rise in manufacturing and technology and services. You've got an educated workforce, you've got a large population, young demographic, so everything's moving towards India's favor. So, King Shuk, what do you think in terms of the next 5 or 10 years? Do you see the same thing? Are people being optimistic about it, overly optimistic, or do you think there are actually going to be some challenges too down the road?
I think it's a very optimistic. Of course, it's moving at a very fast pace. You have touched all the point. Young demography, English spoken, technology is amazing. They just are not running any more call centers, only call centers, but much more technologically driven. People are aware what is happening around the world. And today, as we speak, the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, landed last night in Washington, D.C. So, he's one of the, I think, the third person to visit after the new administration took over in January the 20th. So definitely, at all levels, we see India and US is getting closer, and I feel this decade, next 10 years, will be India's growth. As one of the speakers was talking, he is executive at global companies, and he's also the chairman of Confederation of Indian Industries. As he said, today India is the fifth largest economy. By end of 2025, this year, they will overtake Germany and
Wow.
will be the fourth largest with $4.23 trillion economy. But the challenge in India is there's so many people. There is a lot of poor people still. The cities and the urban areas and the rural areas are challenging, and also the cost of living for poor people is high. So those challenges are the traffic, pollution, environment. But people are it's like a song and dance orchestra in midst of chaos with so many people. So India needs to have more political stability as they have for now, for the time being, and basically, continue the growth at 6-7% they're projecting next 10-15 years to become the third largest economy.
Yeah, good point. Now, I'm really excited myself to learn more about India and to see its projection in the near future. So, back to you, Hannah. It might be a little bit too early, but when you reflect on your trip, your experience, do you think you've changed a bit? Are you one way or another? Just curious how you feel post India trip.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have grown as a person in just those 2 weeks. Definitely my networking and ability to present myself, I feel like, has grown just because of how much we were talking with very professional people. So I had to put myself in a very professional state. And then just reflecting and looking back, I definitely now have an itch to travel more. I want to participate in a semester program here at St. Ben's and St. John's. And I definitely want to go back to India, hopefully soon or in the near future. It was very awesome.
Good. And yeah, you probably are just taking things in. I know from my experience, I studied in China, but I lived over there, just taught English. And now, anywhere I go, when I meet Chinese people, I in a restaurant or anywhere, I just open up to them. I speak
Mhm.
to them. So it's a whole new world that I've
Mhm.
discovered, and I'm so enriched. So my family members and other people, they look at me and they wonder how I can just connect with people from
Mhm.
around the world. And I know that's going to happen to you when you leave St. Ben's, when you go to the Twin Cities or wherever you go.
Mhm.
You're going to be much more open-minded, and it's only going to be good things for you. And then if I could leave a bit of advice, just do take courses that are more challenging. Just challenge yourself. Don't always try to go for the A. Try to focus
Mhm.
on what you can learn, because when you leave, the grades don't matter so much. It's what you learn.
Right.
And then
Mhm.
you're doing. I commend you for doing what you're doing now, is choosing to go to the India program, because it's probably not as popular, not as mainstream as other programs. So what you're
Yeah.
doing now is you're like a trailblazer, and so when you look back on your life, you're choosing a different path. So I really commend you for doing that too at
Yeah.
such a young age.
Yeah.
And
Thank
if
you.
I may add, Hannah, why don't you tell where you're headed next, semester long, instead of me telling to Vin?
Yeah. So I applied for the Spain semester program in Sevilla.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
know by next week if I get in, but
Oh, I'm
I'm
sure.
crossing my fingers I do because that has been a goal on my bucket list since my junior year of high school because we had a foreign exchange student that I met and I became really close with. So I want to be with her, but also, again, that itch to travel, and I want to go to many different countries while I'm there as well.
Oh, good for you. I'm so excited to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
I could put you in touch with an alumni in Spain if you ever need it. But looks like
Yeah,
you're doing
I'd love that.
big and interesting things. And then again, when you look back at your college experience, these study abroad experiences are the ones that stand out. It's going to change you the
Hmm.
most. So it's amazing to see someone like you that's already doing so much. So that's good to see. All right, you two. Did I miss anything else? Did you want to touch upon something that I didn't talk about, or you want to elaborate anywhere else? King first.
I think, we are still soaking all in.
Hmm.
And it's kind of a remorse that we are not there in India because the pace is so fast, moving so many people, and Minnesota is completely contrasting.
Yeah.
So, like everybody else, we are going through a little bit remorse process, but still we are in school, and it's so cold here. It's minus 15 degrees compared to 85. So, and also it's giving us a time to reflect because we were on the go in India. Now it's sinking in that what amazing experience it was. And although I'm from there, I go there so often, but still it's like the growth, the excitement which I see
Hmm.
there, and the young people. The country is very young, which is extraordinary to see. So because
Yeah.
they are bringing so much energy.
Yeah, definitely just coming back here. Um, it was like, wow, I did that. Like, I just went on the probably the most amazing trip I'll ever go on. And it's kind of just fun reflecting on it with my friends, or like people have came up to me and been like, "Oh, went on the India program," and like introduced me to, or they introduced themselves, and I've never met them before, so that was super cool too. Like, just getting to talk about it. Um, yeah.
And Hannah, maybe you can touch upon, I think some of you wrote in the reflection paper very well that Pune and Mumbai is a very fast city.
Hmm.
But when we went to Goa, it was very different. And the
Hmm.
experience, the cultural experience that you had in that house, in the retreat house, if you touch upon quickly in a minute, that will be great.
Yeah, so Mumbai was very, very fast paced. We were go, go, go. Um, Pune, obviously working with the students, we got to go on a lot of industry visits with them. So we had full days, jam packed our schedules, and then at night we would work on the project. So just going to Goa was such a relaxing experience, and we got to kind of reset from that fast pace. Um, and in Goa at the retreat, it was super awesome, fully immersing ourselves in the culture. We got to do a sari fitting. We got to do traditional cooking lessons. Had the most amazing curry I've ever had, which was super awesome. Um, yeah, and it was just kind of got to see a different side of
They
India.
did the yoga, and
Yeah,
Goa
and
is.
yoga. We got to do very traditional yoga,
Wow.
more focusing in on the mindset and the body, which was super awesome.
All right. Okay, you two. I really appreciate having this discussion. It's really great to learn about the India program and your experiences. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much.